Good morning. It is currently Christmas Day. I got a little over 5 hours of sleep last night, and now I am frantically finishing my packing because we need to leave for the airport in 5 minutes. I'm going to Ontario to visit my extended family over the break, so that's where we're going to be headed. So we arrived last night, and then we had a little dinner until 1 a.m. and then we went to bed. So now I'm going to drive over to my cousin's house and we're going to interview her. Is she an EIT?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think she's an EIT. We'll find out. Oh, that water tower over there was designed by my great uncle, who was also an engineer. Okay. Hi, I'm here with my cousin Alex. Alex is an EIT. So when did you graduate, Alex? How long were you in school for?
I graduated May 2016 and I was McMaster in Ontario.
What kind of engineering did you do there?
I started with a general first year at McMaster and I ended up taking material science and engineering. So, not all programs offer it, but it's kind of a bit of a mix between chemical and mechanical.
Yeah, and how did you like your schooling? What would you have done differently?
I really enjoyed it overall. I found the first couple years, they're just very straight math and science based. You don't really get much into the applications until your later years. So I found those years I very much enjoyed, just being a little bit more application, and the first years I honestly really struggled. So those were a little tougher for me.
Yeah, and what was it like as a woman?
I did find that there was a good camaraderie between the girls there were, because there were so few of us that we kind of banded together a little bit. It's to be expected.
So where are you working now?
I'm working for a window and door manufacturer. I'm working in a continuous improvement process engineering role there.
And what does that entail?
A lot of it's taking a look at what processes are there and saying, how can we do this better? How can we do this cheaper and still maintain that same quality? So it's got a little bit of a business aspect to it as well. But often you are looking into very specific, welding processes, cutting processes. How can we automate? How can we save money? What's our return on investment? And trying to make some, critical choices there to improve the process. We usually had around 10 engineers, depending on how busy we were, and maybe 1 or 2 females. We did usually see a lot of engineering students that came and worked with us that were females, so I think we're maybe starting to see more prevalence of women in engineering. It wasn't a huge factor when I was there. I think, once you're part of the team, you're kind of embraced either way. But I do think automotive engineering specifically was a little bit less, female dominated. Women just, I think, often feel a little bit less, equipped, because they're not generally gearheads the way guys are when they're younger. But a lot of what it is isn't so much about being a gearhead, it's a lot more about the actual processes and technology you're using.
So do you have any advice for people wanting to going into engineering?
I think one of the biggest things is, just toughing out the first couple hard years. It's hard to get into engineering, and then I did find the program is very top heavy, that your first 2 years, just a ton of straight math and science without that much application. You tough those out and you get those, they're really trying to give you those building blocks to do more. So you tough out those couple years, you get through some failed classes or lower marks than you've ever been used to, and I find it does get easier and you start to really feel like it is your niche. Just take some time, so I guess just persevere, get through it.
Okay, thank you.
No problem, thank you.
Hi! This is my cousin Keely. She's coming to visit as well. Look, she's got her suitcase.
And earbuds.
Yeah, there's cool. As you can see, this is where I'm currently living. Got my couch bed, my stuff on this chair. Keely wants to live right there. My brother's living under the pool table.
I was questioning that.
So my cousins are over right now, and their mom is actually a professional engineer who's retired, so I'm gonna interview her and just get what her experience was like as a professional engineer and also in a different time frame. And then after that, we're going to a family party. We're gonna see half of my family today, and then we're gonna go to another party and see the other half of my family tomorrow. So, big few days. Hi, I'm with my Aunt Catherine here. She's a retired professional engineer, right?
Yeah.
So, what did you do before you retired? What was your job?
So I worked at ArcelorMittal DeFasco for 34 years, and my last role there was as the treasurer for about 10 years.
And what was it like being a woman in this job?
Well, that's interesting. I mean, it's certainly evolved over the 34 years. When I started, I was purely an engineer out of the plant, and I was one of very few. Actually, there was no women's washrooms.
Really?
Yeah, so you had a very difficult time doing that, and also being very young. So it took a long time to earn their respect. And but you worked hard at it and just spent a lot of time sort of being part of their team, and eventually you gained that respect for them. And once the relationships grew, it was very good.
So how was it like in school for you then?
Well, school. So when I started in engineering, that would have been the late '80s, a long time ago. So I was at University of Western when I started in engineering. I did a finance degree before engineering, so I kind of did it backwards. So when I was in mechanical engineering at Western, I was one of 65 students, and I think there was only two women in that program. In the mechanical stream. And then I did my last year of engineering at the University of Calgary, and I think I was there were three females out of the 80 students. So not a lot of women at the time. It's certainly changed now.
And did you find it was hard to make friends?
Not at all. I mean, in university, no, it was fine. I think everyone was pretty inclusive. Once you're working together to solve, to study together, to solve problems together. And I think that when you're trying to go and achieve the same goal, it was fine. It was not a problem.
So do you have any like recommendations or advice for girls wanting to go into engineering?
Well, I can tell you that it was the stepping stone for my career. So I ended out in finance, but at the end of the day, it was my engineering which really taught me how to think, to be disciplined, and to work really hard. And so it's a very good fundamental background. So whatever career you end up taking, having an engineering degree was a fundamental start for me.
And what made you choose engineering? Did you have engineers in the family, or was it like focused on in your high school?
It actually ends out that my grandfather, so my mother's father, he was in the engineering class that started the Iron Ring ceremony. And as you know, the Iron Ring is a symbol of engineering professionalism. It's all about making sure that you are professional in what you do. And the Iron Ring was started because it was a piece of iron from the bridge in Quebec that collapsed because there was a lack of professionalism and the bridge fell down. So the ring that started it, that's a symbolism when you actually take your oath as a professional engineer. And so my grandfather went to University of Toronto, and he was from the very first class that started the Iron Ring ceremony.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
So Kate's asking me, how are we gonna dance? Because we're supposed to be dancing, but it's so many tables. She said, how are we gonna dance? And you wanna know what I said? On la floor.